There's a moment that almost everyone pretends doesn't affect them. You send a message. Then you start watching the screen differently. Not directly. You act casual about it. You lock the phone, unlock it again 2 minutes later, open another app, come back, check if they're online. And the longer the silence lasts, the stranger your own thoughts become. Maybe they're busy. Maybe they didn't see it. Maybe you said something weird. What's fascinating is how quickly the mind turns uncertainty into self-doubt. Not proof, just possibility. A tiny delay suddenly feels personal. And that reaction says something much bigger about rejection than most people realize. Because humans don't only fear rejection when it actually happens, they fear the space where rejection might be forming. Most people imagine rejection as a dramatic event, being dumped, being humiliated publicly, being excluded. But real rejection usually arrives quietly. A slower reply, a colder tone, a shift in energy you can't fully explain. And somehow, those tiny changes can affect people more deeply than obvious conflict, because obvious conflict gives certainty. Subtle rejection leaves room for interpretation, and interpretation is where the mind becomes dangerous. You start replaying things. One sentence becomes suspicious. A facial expression suddenly means something. A pause in conversation starts feeling loaded. It's almost like the mind becomes an investigator trying to solve a crime before the evidence fully exists. Not because humans are irrational, because socially, uncertainty feels unstable, and rejection is one of the few emotional experiences where people often punish themselves before anything is confirmed. What makes this even stranger is that rejection rarely feels isolated. It spreads. A small social moment can suddenly affect confidence in completely unrelated areas. Someone ignores your idea in a meeting, and now your clothes feel wrong. One awkward interaction at a party, and suddenly your entire personality feels questionable. Why? Because rejection doesn't just challenge a moment, it quietly challenges identity. For a few seconds, the mind stops asking, did that interaction go badly? And starts asking, what does this say about me? That shift changes everything. There's another layer people rarely notice. Humans can tolerate pain surprisingly well when it feels meaningful, but rejection feels different because it creates emotional ambiguity. You don't always know what happened, why it happened, whether it was intentional or whether you imagined it. So the mind keeps circling the experience, looking for resolution, like touching a loose tooth with your tongue over and over. Not because it feels good, because unfinished discomfort keeps demanding attention. And this is why rejection can feel physically exhausting, not because one moment destroyed you, but because your mind refuses to put the experience down. You carry it into unrelated moments, into silence, into mirrors, into future conversations that haven't even happened yet. Rejection has a strange ability to expand beyond its original size. A single social moment can suddenly color an entire day, not due to weakness, because humans experience social tension internal, not just externally. What's especially unsettling is how often people reject themselves in advance. Before speaking, they soften their opinions. Before trying, they lower expectations. Before expressing interest, they emotionally prepare for distance. Sometimes people don't avoid rejection after it happens. They reorganize their lives, trying to avoid the possibility of feeling it at all. And slowly, this creates invisible versions of yourself. The quieter version, the safer version, the less embarrassing version. Not fake versions, protected ones. But maybe the deepest truth about rejection is this. Humans don't actually fear hearing no. They fear what no seems to imply. Not this moment failed, but maybe I was never fully wanted here to begin with. That's why rejection can feel disproportionate, because emotionally, it rarely stays attached to the original event. It starts attaching itself to belonging, and belonging sits underneath almost every human interaction, whether people realize it or not. So the next time rejection affects you more than you expected, pay attention to what actually hurts. It's usually not the event itself, it's the meaning your mind begins building around it, because rejection is rarely experienced as a closed door. It feels more like standing outside a room, wondering if you were ever supposed to enter at all. And once you notice that, human behavior starts looking very different.